What's up, you guys? Welcome back. Today I'm so excited because we're gonna be doing something a little different. I've never done one of these videos before, but we are going to be following a Makeup by Mario tutorial, and I'm basically gonna be doing my makeup using his techniques. I've seen these kind of like I followed so-and-so's makeup tutorial like going around on YouTube, so I decided to put my own little spin on it and follow a Makeup by Mario masterclass tutorial. If you guys don't know who Makeup by Mario is, I'm sure you do if you're watching my channel, because clearly you're interested in beauty, and he's probably the most famous celebrity makeup artist. He is so insanely talented, and he came out with his own line of makeup this past year, which is only available at Sephora, and the stuff is really, really beautiful. And so I know he's done in-person masterclasses where you could like pay to go and see his masterclass in person, but obviously in 2020, like all that stuff kind of came to a halt. So Mario blessed us by putting masterclasses for free on his Instagram using his products. So I was like, okay, this is really cool. I want to follow one of his masterclasses and try and do my makeup like him because he's just incredible. So we're gonna try and do that today. I don't think I'm as talented as him, but maybe following his steps, we can come up with a beautiful makeup look. I want to give a big thank you to Sephora and Makeup by Mario for partnering with me on today's video. And yeah, I'm really excited. I'm a little nervous because I'm a beauty lover, not a makeup artist. I love beauty and I enjoy doing my own makeup, but I'm not a makeup artist. Like I have no formal training or anything like that, but hopefully we can get a really beautiful look. So make sure you guys subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and click the little bell right next to the subscribe button so you can be notified of all my future uploads. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first things first, Mario goes in with the Master Eye Prep and Set. So these come in a variety of different shades. I think I'm gonna use shade light today. I do have shade medium. Let me see, maybe that's better. Okay, yeah, I think shade medium is gonna work the best. So he basically uses this to prep the eye before he goes in with any eyeshadow or anything like that. And he uses his EF1 brush, which is dual-sided. So he uses the flat top side to apply the cream product, and then he uses this little dome side to put the powder over it. I'm gonna go in with the lighter of the two in the medium palette with the flat top brush. And I'm gonna work this on my eyelid. I do already have a little bit of concealer on there, so I'm just putting this right on top. And I like that there's two different shades, you know, depending on the time of the year, whether my skin is a little darker or a little lighter. And again, there's a variety of, you know, different options too for various skin tones. Because I feel like most times eyeshadow primers just come, you know, most companies just have them in like one standard shade. So I love that he came out with multiple shade options. Okay, so I think we're good on that. Now I'm gonna use the dome side and go in with the translucent powder and tap that on top. And he does say in his masterclass tutorials that you can use this like on your skin too. So if you wanna like, you know, set your face or whatever with it, you can do that as well. Maybe a little bit on the under eyes. You can just put it wherever. All right, I think we're all good and prepped, and we're ready to move on to the next step. Okay, next he goes in with a liner. So this I'm a little nervous, but hopefully I do it right. I have his Master Pigment Pro pencil in the perfect brown. So these are dual-sided. You have the product on one side and then this little brush on the other. And basically what he does is he applies the product on the eye and then he uses this brush to create the wing. So I'm a little nervous, but hopefully I can do it as pretty as he did, because it looked beautiful when he did it. So I'm gonna go on with the liner and just apply this to my upper lash line. I'm not gonna wing it out, I'm just gonna leave it. Okay, I think we're good. And now he went in with this little brush here and like flicked the product to give this nice diffused wing. Oh wow, it does work. See, I was kind of skeptical. I was like, I don't know if that's gonna work. Do you see how pretty and like diffused and natural that looks? And it just creates this beautiful wing without actually having to do it. Because normally I never create wings with like liners like this. Like I would always use a liquid liner to do that. But this is actually really, really cool. Because at first when I saw this and I saw this like brushed side, I was kind of like, what is that for? And then I watched his tutorials. Like I thought it was just to like diffuse, you know, smudge it out a little bit. It was just a different kind of smudger than we're used to seeing. But then when I saw it, it made so much more sense. All right, so on this side, I'm gonna try and flick it up a little bit more, upwards instead of outwards. This is so Cool. Okay, more companies need to do this. Because that more like natural diffused line just looks so pretty. And we're actually gonna go in with a different product over this. I'll show you guys as we get in. But he kind of does this as a first step to build the liner look. And then he builds on top of it, so. And then he does just go in with this brush just to diffuse out the rest of the liner as well. And just smudge it to make it look a little bit more natural. But that's actually really cool and really easy. Like I feel like if you're a beginner, doing this is a lot easier than trying to just go in with a pencil and create a wing. Like you just kind of smudge it out on your own and it diffuses it and does everything for you. Okay, Mario. Okay, I think we're good on the liner. That was a cool technique. I like that. Okay, next he jumps into his Master Mattes palette, which this is my favorite product from his launch. I love this eyeshadow palette. It's really, really beautiful. Perfect for every day. You have like every color you could ever need to make pretty much any kind of look. And what he does is he goes in with the E3 brush. I wanna make sure I get the right shade. I'm like, hang on, let me reference which shade he grabs. I think it's this one. Let me make sure. Yes, okay, so he calls it shade 9, so I guess they're just like numbered. So I'm gonna go in with this shade right here on an E3 brush. It's kind of like a very warm toned brown. Tap a little bit of the excess off. And then he goes in with this on the crease. And he buffs this up pretty high on the model's crease. We'll see. I don't know if that will look necessarily amazing on my eye. You know what I feel like is weird? See, now I would go in with the E2. The EF2 to do this more domed brush to apply to my crease, but he uses the E3. So I feel like I'm like struggling because this is not the type of brush that I would normally use for this. But this is not I followed a Kelly Strack makeup tutorial. This is I followed a Makeup by Mario makeup tutorial. So I'm gonna use the brush that he used and diffuse out the color in the crease and upper crease area. Okay, this actually blends it out beautifully. At first I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work because I'm not used to using a more flatter brush like this. See how it's pretty flat in the crease? I normally use these to more pack on color, like maybe in the outer corner, but it does work. And it actually diffuses it out really, really beautifully. Okay, gonna go in and do the same thing on my other eye. Okay, so now that we have that all blended, he jumps back into the Master Eye Prep and Set and uses this powder again. So this is the same powder that we used to set before we went in with any eyeshadow. And now this time he uses the fluffy brush that I said I would have used for all over the crease. So this is the EF2, and he goes in with this powder and he uses that to buff out the edges up here to soften everything, which is super interesting. I wouldn't think of going in with like a translucent powder to do that, but it does work to just buff and blend everything out. Like it just kind of diffuses the color. Like I feel like you could see a definite difference on this side versus this side before going in and like diffusing it. So it's a different technique that I'm used to, but definitely interesting. Okay, now he goes in with shade 3, which is this one right here. And he uses his E4 brush and packs this shade all over the lid. So I'm gonna go in with this and pack this on the lid. I also can use it to kind of clean up that crease area as well and sculpt it out, because see how pigmented that is? That's actually really pretty. And it has a little bit of a pinky undertone to it, which looks pretty on the eyes. It looks more like a true tan in the pan, but when applied on the eyes, you get a little bit of that pink color, which I personally like. So I'm just topping this all over the lid, and then he also brings it beneath the brow bone in this area as well, just to highlight. All right, we're looking good, looking good. Okay, next, this is interesting because this I also wouldn't think to do, but now he goes in with his liquid liner. So we already used like the pencil liner, but then he basically said he uses that as a base and then he'll go over it with the liquid liner. So this is his Master Mattes liquid liner in super black. So I'm gonna take this and go over the liner that we have to really amplify it, and then it makes it easier because you already have this guide of liner that you already did, and you're basically just tracing with the liquid liner. Another thing he said that I thought was really cool is this is a waterproof liquid liner, but there's a 15-minute gap from when you apply it to when it locks in and turns waterproof. So if you decide like, oh, you know what, I don't like it, I messed up or whatever, you can go in and easily change it during that 15-minute gap before it's gonna lock in and be much more difficult to remove once it becomes waterproof. So I thought that was pretty cool because he's basically saying like, depending on how your eye is and how you're looking at it could determine how you want your line to look. So he wanted to give people that like buffer in time. I was like, that's actually really interesting and not something I would have thought of. I've also never really done like a pencil liner and then went over it with a liquid liner. It's just not something I've ever thought to really do. Okay, now he jumps in with the pencil liner. So this is the Master Pigment Pro pencil. This one is super black. So it's the same as the Perfect Brown one that we used before, but this one is black, same dual sides. And he uses this in the waterline and to Tightline. So I'm gonna go and apply it in my waterline. It's super pigmented, as you guys can see. I always make the weirdest faces when I apply my waterline, so excuse that, sorry. And then he also uses it up here to Tightline. Now what I thought was cool is he takes this brush side and he basically just runs it on the lower lash line, and it diffuses very slightly what is coming off of your waterline. He didn't put any extra product. He just went in with the brush. And if you see, it's diffusing it out onto my lower lash line. So I'm just gonna go in and do that. It's just so interesting because this is just so different from like how I do my makeup, you know what I mean? Like it's so cool how people can do makeup so differently and get beautiful looks, you know what I mean? Like there's no right or wrong way to do it really, you know? Okay, I think we are good on there. Now this next part, this is where I feel like it could all come crumbling down on me, because this I am not confident in that I'm gonna be able to make it look nice, but Mario makes it look so easy. So I'm gonna try. He basically goes in with the brown liner that we used initially. This is, again, the Master Pigment Pro pencil in the Perfect Brown. He goes in with this. I almost don't want to do it because I feel like I like the way my eyes look and I just feel like I'm gonna ruin it, but I have to follow his tutorial. So he goes in with this on the inner corner and like draws it on the eye. He makes it look so easy. I just know that I'm just not gonna be able to do this, but I'm gonna try. So he goes in basically with this on the inner corner and he draws like a little bit on here. Not too much though, but he did do some. I'm trying not to really press hard at all because I'm scared. Okay. That's probably good enough, I feel like, for me. Then he goes in with the E5 brush. So this is like the tiniest little eye brush, and like buffs it out with this, the liner, to like deepen the inner corner. And he makes it look so simple and so easy. And I'm kind of like, I don't know about this. I'm gonna go with a little bit more liner. He did say to leave the center part, you know, clean, so we're not gonna go in the center with anything. I mean, it does buff out with the brush. This is just something I would never ever do or think to do. But I mean, if my ending eye look looks as pretty as his, then I will be very happy because it was beautiful, the look that he created while doing this. And he also brought this on the outer corner as well, so I'm gonna do the same thing over there. And buffing it out there as well. I'm using a lot less liner than he did because I'm just scared. But he went in pretty generously with his liner and somehow just makes it look so stinking flawless. So I'm just kind of gradually building mine up instead of just going like crazy off the bat, you know? And just diffusing that out. Then he jumps into the E3 brush, which this is the same brush we used in our crease, which I feel like this is a bigger brush, so I'm a little nervous. The model I think had a little more lid space than I do, but I still want to use the same brushes that he did, and he mixed together these two shades and applied them over top of the liner. So I'm gonna go in with this and do my best and just diffuse all these shadows and shades together. This actually does look really pretty. Like, I would never normally think to do this, like, but it does look stunning. And just using that on top and then kind of buffing everything together with that crease color, but want to again leave the center of the lid free of any color. I think this is a technique that probably takes some time to fully master, but I think it's looking pretty good, you know, for a first try. And that liner definitely helped to just deepen up that shadow so much and just like smoke it out so much more than if we just used like a powder shadow. So that's actually really cool. All right, so I'm gonna go on the other eye and I'm gonna do the same like technique. Liner first, blend out, then eyeshadow. Okay, I think we're good. Now he goes back into the Master Preppin' set, so the original product that we used on our eyes, and goes in with the EF1 brush in the lighter shade. You know what, I think I'm gonna actually go in with the light Master Mattes palette to do this. Since this one's a little lighter, I'll use the darker shade in the light palette because I use the medium to set all over my eyes, because we want to use this basically as like a highlight. And we'll go in with the flat side of the EF1 brush. And he basically just paints this on the center part of the lid, like so, to create that spotlight, and like diffuses it outwards. And then he goes in with the Master Crystal Reflector. This one is in the shade Citrine, which is this pretty gold shade, and he uses his finger, gets it on his finger, and then taps that on that center part of the lid. My nails make it a little bit difficult to do this, but oh, wow, okay, that's really, really pretty. Woo! This is really, really pigmented. Like, I'm barely tapping my finger. That's so pretty. It's better, see on this side, I kind of held my finger like this, and it's more wide. It's better to hold your finger, I'm realizing now, like this. Like I feel like this side looks more uniform, but it's okay. You live and you learn. Then he takes it one step further and goes in with the Master Crystal Reflector in the shade Quartz, which this one is more of a white shade, and he's gonna do this on top. Woo, girl. We're gonna be glistening up into Mars today, okay? Ooh, yeah, that amps it up. That's so pretty. Oh my goodness. This is really, really pretty. And then he goes in with the E5 brush, which is the tiny little guy, and like further kind of diffuses out to either side just to blend it. I'm gonna have to reblend my crease like a little bit because I brought it up a little too high. Mario doesn't have to do that because he's a professional. But I'll go in and just clean up my crease a little bit. I'm gonna use this to just diffuse out both sides first. And then I'll go back in with the E3, and I'm just gonna use that to diffuse the crease and just clean that up a little bit. Again, if you're a pro, you probably don't have to do this, but I do. Wow, okay. And I'm gonna go back over my liner again with the Master Mattes liquid liner. Again, a step that Mario does not have to do because he's a professional, but I do because I got the glitter on my liner. So I'm just gonna go over it. It might be easier maybe to do this step at the end, like after you do all your eyeshadow, then go in with the liner. I think for purposes of his masterclass, because he was showing a bunch of different techniques, that's probably why he did it first. But it's probably easier to go in towards the end with the liner just to clean everything up and get that really crisp kind of black line. There we go. This eye look actually came out, like I was nervous, and I feel like it came out so pretty. Okay, I'm just gonna go in and pop on some lashes and mascara real quick, and then we'll finish off with the face. All right, eyes are all done. Honestly, this is like one of my favorite eye looks I feel like I've ever done, and it's so different because I use a whole bunch of techniques that I normally never use, but I feel like it just looks so pretty. Like, it does give this beautiful spotlight to my eyes. Like, even normally when I do spotlight eyes like this, I don't use as dark of a shade like in my inner and outer corners. I'm always scared to put like dark color like in my inner corner. I don't know, but it came out so pretty. Like, I really, really love this eye look. So I'm really happy that I did this. Last step is we're going to go in with the Master Secret Glow. This is the highlight in the shade Expensive. So when I first got this, I thought there was nothing in here, like the pan was empty, but it's actually like a face gloss. And Mario uses this for that like lit from within kind of glow to your face. It's more of like a natural glow. But what I noticed, and I don't know if he does this intentionally or it's just like a habit or something, but I noticed he kind of like puts it on his finger like this. So he'll like go like this, get his finger in there, then he kind of puts it like on his arm, like a little bit like this, and kind of dabs some off, and then goes in on the face with it and just taps it on the model's face. And it's a very natural kind of glow. And what I like most about this is that this doesn't pick up your foundation. Like, I've tried other face glosses like this before, and then it just picks up your foundation and you just look like this patchy mess. This one doesn't. And it just gives a very natural, subtle kind of glow to the skin. Like, you see when the light hits it, you get that pretty glow, but it's not like a boom in your face kind of highlight. Maybe like putting it on the inner part of your arm like warms up the product a little bit. I don't know. Or maybe it's just something that he happens to do in the video and it's not, and there's no technique to it, but I noticed that he did that. So that's what I tried to do. And yeah, if you like more natural, like subtle highlights or like face gloss type products, this is the best one I've ever tried, because I've honestly never tried one that I've liked before because they always pick up the foundation underneath. and it just looks crazy, where this one does not do that somehow. I don't know how, but you can just top it on the skin to get a really pretty subtle glow without picking up the product underneath. Alrighty, so that is everything, you guys. Honestly, this was a lot of fun. I really liked doing this and like kind of challenging myself to do something different, and I feel like it came out really pretty. I'm obviously not as talented as Mario, but I feel like the look came out really, really well, and I'm obsessed with his eye look. It's like literally everything. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. Like I said, if you want to get any of his products, they're only sold at Sephora, so you guys can check them out at Sephora. I'll have a link down below in the description to all the different products that we used today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to watch Mario's masterclasses, you can watch them on his Instagram too. That's where they're all at. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in my next video.